Hi, I borrowed this extension, the NOERSTICK, from Mr. Finn Nord, the inventor of it, and I would try to go through the details now, do a review. I've been using it only 2 times, I have to say, wind and time and work, and you know how it is. Hasn't been playing out. And it's maybe a bit difficult to say already, but I found when I trimmed my 8.4 with it, I will show you a picture, the extension ring here sat almost at the exactly same place as on my duotone extension, and there will be a little bit of discrepancy down here, so I think it was around 5 millimeters just from me looking at the sail, how it was downhauled, and the performance was definitely as good as with the duotone extension, and maybe a little more bottom end power, but I have to do some runs where I tried both extensions. But today I'll just run over some of do some close-up of it, try to tear it apart down here to see what's inside, and tell you what I'm thinking about it, and show you how I just downhauling a sail with it. It's a bit different from a normal extension, as you have the 2 ropes and you have to use different footing. But for now, some of the criticism I've heard is that it wasn't Dyneema ropes formula line, but I actually think it is on this one. I don't know if it's on the RDM, but I'll talk to Finn about that when I visit him in some weeks. But now I'll just try to cut this rope and see what's inside of it, and just to check if it looks like Dyneema. I think it's probably is Dyneema. I'll just put some zoom on. So here we have the rope, and it's definitely not different pieces, so it's black Dyneema, I think. I have to ask Finn. But for those who said that it wasn't Dyneema, I think you're wrong. Now we'll just see how it handles getting heated up, so I can have a nice end here. And now, as Finn said down here, you can unscrew this one, and then you can turn the whole extension if you want to. There are clamp cleats on both sides, and this one is set up for like Neil Pride, Avanti and stuff like that with the rolls this way. You can also have it with the rolls squared to this, and I think it has 3 then, you can see on the website. There's a handle here. Now I just got, and that's the one part that secures the pin, and it's held on by an elastic cord, and some people say that won't last. I would say I have had the Surfline Munich mast extension where the pin that holds the mast base is also held by elastic cord, and I have never broken one, and I've used them for 5 years. Yeah, but I'll try to unscrew it so we can get a nice look of the aluminum beam here, and yeah. Now we see if it's all corroded together. This one came out pretty easy. It is moving. So now we can see the beam. As Finn said, it was an I-beam. So it has way more, what should we call it, structural integrity than a normal round tubing that's used for all the other extensions. So definitely stiffer and pretty high material thickness also. A bit asymmetrical, that's exciting, but I think that's because of the attachment of the elastic rope. It's sitting in here, so you can probably, if you're good, be able to change it. The one thing is with this one, it has to sit on the other side, then you rig it, because the rope, otherwise the rope you adjust the extension with would block it. But that isn't a hassle in real life, just something to get used to. But you can see a very nice profile. And quick story, when I was younger and had to live with my parents, had to make money for surf gear, I worked in the factory that has produced this aluminium profile. It's Hydro Aluminium in Tønder, and I spent a lot of nights on the night shift there, actually cutting up stuff like this. So, fun fact, actually came together real easily, even though it's a used extension. And yeah, so the story about the I-beam is definitely correct. It's a pretty solid piece of aluminium, probably why it's also just a little bit heavier than the other extensions, but weight in the bottom of the sail doesn't affect performance that much. As you can see, Finn has also had some nice details here. Denmark version 2, and also instead of putting stickers or painting stuff, it's actually made pretty nice. It's all engraved NOERSTICK Python. This one is. You have some measurements here, and also this with the ball bearings, and they are rolling, even though I never rinse out my stuff with fresh water. Probably should do sometimes. And you can see also for the top rolls up here, it's made nice with an Allen key, so you can take the axle out and repair it if something gets broken. And you can see also nice and engraved stuff here. So, and also you can see it there, the logo. Yeah, goes to show that there's been put a lot of, what should you say, time and effort into it, and yeah, it's definitely a nice piece of it. Now I've rolled out my 9.2 Avanti Machine M8 and stuck the mast in, and now I'll just rig it as I usually do. Put some tension on it and pop on the cambers, and then I'll explain a little bit about the NOERSTICK, how it adjusts and how it works. So I'll just put a little bit of tension on it, and that's just like you're used to. So we got a little bit of bend in the mast. The joist of jamming this. So that rope has to go up there, and just bend it a little bit. And then I go up on the cambers. Then we go block to block on this one. Easy. And Then we take the other one. Now we just want the sail to look. Now we have to use the other foot. That's the difference. Right. Now we're getting some tension on the sail. And then we'll just pull a little bit more. Usually I'll probably give it just a little bit more downhaul. And even though I'm out of a breath, it isn't that hard actually. As you can see, we're probably well downhauled now, and maybe for a high wind a little bit more, but it's usually where I go with the settings. So now what I do, so now I have block to block down here. As I mentioned, the release for the pin is on the other side, but you get used to that pretty quickly. It can't fit here because that rope will block it from going out. So that's the only thing. You can't see it, but it's a pretty big handle, so it's easy to feel. And yeah, and Finn told me that you could, if you just want to secure the lines a little bit better, you can double it, like going through down here again, and yeah, and pull it that way, and then it's pretty secure, and then you can put it up in here. And the other one you can do the same. And yeah, that's it. We have fully downhauled sail on the NOERSTICK, and told you about it in the meantime, so it's pretty easy. Also, these rolls are pretty big and they line up perfectly here, so not a lot of friction there, because the trick is, when you found the perfect downhaul, you just leave this one be and just pull block to block, and you can always fine-tune. You can release this on the water, but you probably need to go on land to give it extra downhaul. So yeah, now we'll just try to release it, and then I'll go check with my duotone extension for this sail and see if we match approximately on the duotone. I don't go all the way block to block, so I have to bear that in mind. I do that on most of the other extension I have. Just also forgot to tell you, there's a nice little thing here to hold your tack strap down so it doesn't move up. That part could be a little bit higher up, Finn. If you make a new casting, please put it up here, so we have a little more room for the tack strap. Yeah, so I hope you watch the video, Finn. That one, that part, up here, please. So, I don't know if you're able to see it, but it says 18 cms on the top of this ring, and the sail actually says extension 18. So just showing you how my normal extension is. And if you put them level here, you can see they are almost the same, and on this one I don't go block to block, so that's probably, so it probably hit the same trim, I think. So I find that pretty interesting. This should be stretched a little bit out, so like that. So within a cm maybe, but as I said, I had a little bit more loose on this. But I'll we'll be testing this a little bit more, and if I found out something new, I'll let you know. But for now, I think it's a good extension. It makes it easy to adjust, so you can adjust it. You don't have to pull it out, so that's pretty nice. And that's the whole idea, making it easier, and it really does. because otherwise you have to go in, de-rig, move this a little bit and put it back together again. And also I think the surface treatment of the aluminum, the black one, seems to be holding up. You can see this one is already, and it hasn't been used a lot, starting to corrode. Some of my older ones look much worse. And also you can see this is a really thin walled pipe compared to the NOERSTICK, and of course you also have the problem of all the holes being cut through. That saves a lot of weight, but it also reduces the strength. So I can surely recommend this. I've been using it for years. It's easy, innovative on this way it sets up, but the only thing that bothers a little bit with this upset is that the last pulley and the sail goes the other way. On Avanti sails they touch, so they bring some friction together. On this one they all roll in the same direction, all the top ones and all the bottom ones, and that's just a minor detail, but it actually probably makes it a little bit easier to downhaul. But it wasn't hard to downhaul the 9.2, which is the hardest one that requires the most power. So yeah, hope you like this review, and let me know in the comments what you think.